a friend of mine who she's part of the crew of the Rolling Elvi. Their support group is called the Priscillas.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we started up, it's a hashtag NOLA costume challenge. And so she just started that last week, where it's encouraging people to go out in their costume in a social distance fashion, take a picture, take a video, and post it with the hashtag. So it literally just started a couple days ago. We'll see if it catches. But she was nice enough to come and take a video of me before I started the race on Saturday so that I could participate in the costume challenge. And she stayed across the street the entire time, you know, well more than 6 feet away from me. I mean, that's the beauty of technology, right? You can film and you can take photographs from a distance.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, so we're kind of, you know, I know a lot of the groups are trying to build some community online. And I mean, when we're done talking, you know, if there are other groups that you're trying to connect with that maybe y'all don't have contacts to, I can try to help maybe facilitate some contacts for you. Because I know there's a lot of groups that are doing a lot of posting on social media and trying to engage still.
Yes, ma'am.
In
That
a
would be
responsible way.
That'll be very helpful in that case.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, how long do you think it might be before neighborhood parades or second lines are permitted again in New Orleans?
Oh, like whenever the mayor and the governor say. I mean, it's really anybody's guess at this point. You know, I think, you know, I mean, we all hope sooner rather than later, but I think it's just one of those things we just have to wait and see. There's been some encouraging progress with staying at home and social distancing, and I hope that continues, and hopefully we can see some of that happen in the near future.
Yes, ma'am. Would you say the same about float parades?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think all of it, because when you think about the fact, you know, whether it's a float parade, a foot parade, or a second line, I mean, it's a large number of people gathering in close proximity, right?
Right.
So, right. I mean, we've been limited to gatherings. You know, you're not supposed to have more than 10 people together at a time in anything in the public, and you have retailers who are monitoring how many people can be in their store, and I think, unfortunately, it's going to be quite some time before that happens.
Yes, ma'am. If the social distancing continues through the summer, how will that affect your group?
I mean, since I'm not one of the organizers, I don't know if I have like an official answer. I think unofficially, you know, we'll all just try to do what we can to stay connected to each other and maintain those friendships. Because I think that's one of the biggest things to think about right now is the fact that we are such a social culture here in New Orleans, mm-hmm. and we're used to being out with people and being able to be active and kind of going out and doing things and doing, you know, being a part of the culture, right? And mm-hmm. we are all in our houses. Some of us are single, some of us are coupled up, some of us have families, and so everybody's in a little bit of a different situation. But I think it's important to maintain those connections because in addition to the challenge of the virus illness, there is a challenge to keep up people's spirits and mental health and wellness.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely agree with you about the mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of people will get into this category of being isolated for so long.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely what how I feel about this social distancing.
For sure.
Hopefully it can get better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of almost the one beauty of this. You know, I'm a person that's big on positivity, and I always try to look for the good in the situation, you know, even if there are some challenges, and there are a lot of challenges right now. But I think one of the beautiful things that's coming out of this is people are really coming up with creative ways to stay connected or reconnect with people that they haven't talked with in a long time. I mean, whether it's phone calls, video chats, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yelling at each other across the street, you know, chatting with neighbors that way. I mean, so it's a good thing. And I think it's a benefit of being forced for us to slow down a little bit, right? Life is so busy, and
yes, ma'am. I agree.
It can pass you by very quickly, but now you're so much more aware, more than ever, that we need to be in community. And community doesn't mean we have to necessarily be in person next to each other. We can still be a community in spirit.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely agree with every word and statement you just said.
Thank you.
If the social distancing continues past the summer, do you think New Orleans would continue to respect those guidelines? Or do you think we'll begin to see more prohibited parades?
I would hope that New Orleanians would respect social distancing as long as it is necessary, because the more we are compliant with social distancing, then it's just the better for the good of the community, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, as far as, I don't think you would see any official crews or organizations putting something on as long as that's going on. I mean, I did see the media coverage of the second line, I think, what was it, Mid-City a couple weeks ago, that was unofficial and the organizer was arrested. But I mean, as far as I know, that wasn't attributed to any social aid and pleasure club or any specific organization in general. That was just people out there doing their thing.
Okay.
Which I would hope people wouldn't do that either. But I mean, sure, if this continues to go on for a long time, do people start to push the boundaries? They might. But I think that our organizations that are involved in all these different activities, I think they're very respectful of the fact that we need to all do what's best for the greater good.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, just my opinion.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's just kind of my opinion. I mean, not being an official organizer of any of these things.
Yes, ma'am. Leading to my next question, I was just about to ask about the news with the police stopping and arresting the organizer of the second line.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that?
Personally, I mean, we were well into a stay-home order at that point, so I know that the mayor had made it very clear if people were violating that order and gathering in large groups that they would take action. So I think, that was what needed to be done.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if you don't send a strong message that the rule is going to be enforced, then it will continue to happen and we won't get through this.
I definitely agree. If we would just listen. I know.
Right.
Okay. If parades do not happen in a full year, what impact would that have on New Orleans parading cultures and traditions in the future?
I mean, goodness, it's hard to say. It's, it would be sad if we didn't get to have a carnival season in 2021. I mean, that's it, that a lot of people would be disappointed. I think it's something that is just so ingrained in the culture here, and we all look forward to it. We all work so hard on it. But, this situation with the virus is out of our hands. And so we just have to do what is best. And if it means that we have to take a hiatus so that we can continue to have it for years and for decades afterwards, then so be it. I mean, I think probably the groups will find creative ways, as we've been finding, to just try to still honor that culture. I think I've been seeing a lot of the crew of the Rolling Elvi has done a really good job of this. Their social media content has kind of geared around, like, for example, they also would have been in the Easter parade with us yesterday, and they have been doing a lot of, flashbacks to the previous year's parade, or members' reflections on what they enjoy so much about that parade in that time of year. And it's kind of a nice way to still celebrate the fact that this is what we should have been doing and we would love to be doing, but we can't do it, but we still have the memories of the years in the past.
Right.
And we hope to have more memories in the years to come.
Yes, ma'am.
We're just all going to have to get real creative. We're New Orleanians. We're good at being creative.
That's right.
I mean, there's so many people out there, and a lot of them are in the Mardi Gras crews and the dance groups and the social aid and pleasure clubs that are doing things like sewing masks and organizing food drives and taking food to healthcare workers and those kinds of things. So I think, we all find an outlet.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, do you think your group would continue to parade as soon as parading is permitted?
Yeah, I mean, I think, based on whatever the guidelines that we receive from the government about what's allowed and what's safe, I think that the organizers of our group would take all of that into consideration. I mean, again, not being one of the organizers of the group, I couldn't say officially what we would do, but I would think that, that was just like when we were told the parades were canceled and we wouldn't be able to participate in them.
Mm-hmm.
We respected that.
Yes, ma'am. Do you think your group would stay united as a group, or they would find other purpose? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I kind of mixed up this question.
That's okay.
Do you think your group would stay united as a group and would find other purposes if parading is restricted for a longer period of time?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of and I think that goes for any of these groups, I think would find a way to somehow stay connected and maintain those bonds. I think, with our group, we have a lot of people who still stay connected even if they aren't actively involved in the group. Kind of almost like a retired status, so to say, where they still kind of stay connected and they stay friends with people in the group. And so I think we'd all find a way.
Yes, ma'am. Well, that concludes my questions. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share?
No, I think your questions were very thorough. Thank you.
No problem.
I guess my only question for you is, do you have a list that y'all are working from of what groups that you are talking to for the project? So I can kind of try to figure out if there are other groups I can help you connect with.
I'm not specifically sure.
Okay.
But I would definitely interview like another crew member to see their opinions and what they think. I wouldn't mind.
Okay. Well, and that might be something too, if you want to talk with your classmates and maybe kind of like if there's if you have a list of what groups y'all already have covered with your interviews that you want to share with me by email. And then I can tell you for sure, like if you want to talk to somebody with the crew of the Rolling Elvi, I can see if my friend who was working on that costume challenge hashtag, like I could see if she'd be willing to interview with you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll email Dr. Helm to make sure. And then I'll send you an email.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because, I'm happy to help. I know that probably the more groups that y'all can talk to, kind of the richer your final project is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
And I guess just let me know if you do have any quotes that you want to use. If there's an opportunity for me to take a peek at them before y'all submit them, that'd be fantastic.
I definitely was just about to say that.
I read your mind. We're a good team.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's awesome that y'all are working on this. I think that's going to be, I will tell you too, just kind of for information, the Historic New Orleans collection. So I don't know if Professor is aware of this, but they are putting together kind of a catalog of things that are happening during the coronavirus. They're actually encouraging people, if you're on Twitter, to use the hashtag #NOLACorona.
Yes, ma'am.
So that might be something for when y'all get ready to release the results of your project to consider reaching out to them and seeing if you can submit a copy of it to them for the historic collection.
Yes, ma'am.
Because, you're documenting history right now.
Yes, ma'am.
It's kind of amazing, right?
It is. It's very interesting to see, like how people, interact, especially with crews, because we only hear about it, but, we're not taking part in it.
Right.